this isn't about me, but I say a lot of like, hey, the Niners should do this, the Niners should do that. I have a shirt, I have a jacket, I'm quality control. Most of my suggestions are wrong, and I change my suggestions all the time. Vish has been very consistent since the first time he's been on the show. He said the Niners should get Stafford. The Niners should get Stafford. When they didn't get Stafford, Vish was like, ooh, that hurts. And then he's like, the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl. And then they did. So I just want to say, Vish, honestly, that's the kind of stuff that you could. Andy Benoit works for the Rams. You should work for the Niners, man. Like you actually could help. You really could. You don't throw a bunch of stuff at the wall and see what sticks. You were a sniper, and you had one target, and it. All I want to say is probably if the Niners had Stafford this year, they would have won the Super Bowl. And they may win a lot of Super Bowls with Lance, but they could have had number 6. So do you think they should have signed Stafford?
Yeah, absolutely. Because here's the thing, okay? The Niners had a Super Bowl window that may or may not have ended this year. Because to me, a Super Bowl window isn't having 6-star players. Because the Niners still are going to have 6-star players that are as good as anybody in the NFL and that are going to be paid like the best players at their position in the NFL. What made the 2013 and 2014 Seahawks special, the 2 teams that went to the Super Bowl, wasn't Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor, Bobby Wagner, Michael Bennett, Russell Wilson, all of Marshawn Lynch, all of those guys were there in 15, they were there in 16, they were there in 17. It was Max Unger, it was Golden Tate, it was, Chris Clemens, Red Bryant, Brandon Mebane, a lot of these depth starter pieces that are veteran players. I don't know if he counts. He played like 6 games, but I guess him too. But a lot of these depth veteran pieces, and that's where I looked at the Niners, and they had an opportunity to bring back all their depth pieces. Because right now, what makes the Niners special isn't the fact that they have Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, Trent Williams, all those guys. Because
every team has good players, right? Every team has good players.
Every really good team, and those guys are as special as it gets. It's the fact that they have DJ Jones, K'Wan Williams, Jaquaski Tart, Laken Tomlinson, right? And it's all these guys who are veteran players who are excellent starters that, even if the margin drops off slightly and you're getting a player who's, like half as good, but he's a fraction of the cost, that fraction of the half as good makes a big difference when you're playing these better teams. And I just looked at it. Look, Trent Williams is going to be 34 next year. George Kittle is nearing 30. It's not like this team is exactly young, even though they do have some young stars like Debo, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner. They're not exactly a young football team. A lot of their veterans, like Laken Tomlinson's 30, DJ Jones is 27.
No, it's one of the older teams 30. In the league, technically.
Yeah, Jimmy Ward is 30. They have kind of an older roster. I mean, the Rams actually were the youngest team in the league, I think, this year. And that's where I just think that, look, I know, it's not about this year. It's about next year. Well, to me, like, there's no guarantee you win one with Trey Lance. There's no guarantee you're able to assemble a roster good enough to win one, no matter how good he is. It's really difficult to do both of those things. And they assembled the roster, and this was the quarterback that they should have gotten. Kyle Shanahan should have picked up that phone right after he got that call instead of going back to drinking in Cabo.
That's what I want to – let's come back to the moment that they missed. There was a moment, and the Rams seized it. The Niners were clearly not as motivated. Why? What happened, in your opinion?
And it's weird, right? Because I always thought, Stafford wanted LA the whole time. Well, I heard Stafford and his wife talk about the entire situation to Maria Taylor in an interview before the Super Bowl. They said, we didn't know where we were going to go when we asked for a trade.
I reported this at the time that their camp thought that the Niners were the front runners. And after I reported that, all of a sudden the odds changed in Vegas and they were like, yeah, he's going to San Francisco.
Yeah.
So
because the Senior Bowl buzz was that.
Yes, someone was saying, I think it might be San Francisco. And all of a sudden the Rams pulled an end around on him.
And if you actually see the kind of guy Stafford isn't a pushy guy that says, I want to go here, I don't want to go here. The way it happened, they said it happened organically. They met McVay in Cabo. They started talking about football. And then all of a sudden they felt like this might be a fit. And that's how it happened. And I'm just thinking, man, Shanahan was in Cabo, picked the right hotel.
He was there. It seems like Kyle was asleep at the wheel.
It should have been. It should have been. Oh, he definitely liked him.
Here's my guess at what happened. Kyle liked him, but felt that instead of going all in for him, he could let the Rams go that, and he could one-up him by getting Watson or Rodgers. And so the Rams made the big aggressive move. The Niners thought we can beat it, and then they couldn't. And all of a sudden they pivoted to plan C, which was
plunge on Trey Lance.
The rookie, absolutely. But they don't want him to play as a rookie. So all of it was, I think they thought they could pull off something better.
The Lance move might still end up being the correct move, and he could end up being a franchise quarterback. I'm not saying that at all. But all I know is that the Niners would have won a Super Bowl this year with Matthew Stafford.
Right.
That's all I know.
Yeah. And they didn't pass on Stafford because they were like, we would rather get Lance. It was probably we could get Watson. Oh, wait, we can't get Watson. Maybe we get Rodgers. Oh, we can't get Rodgers.
And think about what happened in the second half of the Super Bowl. And this is where, having a guy like that makes a difference. What he did in that second half of the Super Bowl would be the equivalent of, their offense. Brandon Ayuk got hurt. George Kittle got hurt. And he had to go win the Super Bowl on a final drive and go 80 yards with Charlie Warner playing tight end, Juwan Jennings, Deebo Samuel, and River Craycraft being his 3 wide receivers. And he had to go win a Super Bowl. And that's what he did.
I noticed you didn't mention Ross Dwelley because if the Niners were ever forced to actually throw the ball to Ross Dwelley, they would just blow teams out week after week. But that's the difference.
I actually forgot about Ross Dwelley. That's why I didn't mention him.
Yeah, I know, right?